Hello everyone, welcome to D and F block chapter of chemistry. Let's begin with the chapter. So, first thing, in this chapter we will study about transition metals and inner transition metal. So, transition metal is the another name for D block element, and inner transition metals is the name for F block elements. So when we talk about D block elements or transition metals, we talk about three different series. One is 3D series, 4D series, and 5D series. Okay, the 6D series is still incomplete. So we will study mainly 3D, 4D, 5D series. Same way, when we talk about inner transition metals, that is F block elements, we study two series, that is 4F and 5F series, which are again known as lanthanoids, that is your 4F series, and actinoids, that is your 5F series. Now, strictly speaking, the transition elements, okay, basically they are the one which are present between S and P block. Okay, so what is happening, since they are also D block element, or another name is D block element, they have incompletely filled D orbital in its ground state or in any of its oxidation state. So they have incompletely filled, or you can say partially filled, d orbital, hence they are regarded as transition element. Now, that being said, note that zinc, cadmium and mercury, we will see the electronic configuration soon. They are of group 12. They have full D10 configuration in their ground state as well as in their common oxidation state. Therefore, zinc, cadmium, mercury, they are not regarded as transition element. Okay, but still they are written in the D block elements as they have similar chemical properties. Now you can see here in the periodic table, this is our S block element, okay, that is group 1 and group 2. Then in the middle, this one is your D block element, okay, that is transition element, and this here is representing your P block element. You can see group number 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 are our P block elements. So from group 3 to group 12 is your transition element, and you can see this here 57, and then the next is 72. So between 57 and 72 there are the lanthanoids, okay, that is your F block element, or you can say inner transition element. Same way 89 to 104, you see there is a huge jump again. So the 89 one is actually like the element next to 89 is all here 90 to 103. So this is your F block element, that is again your actinoids, or you can say this is your 5F series, this is your 4F series. So lanthanoids or actinoids, they are represented at the bottom of the table. D block elements are written in the middle of the table. Okay, and since they are kind of inside the transition, that's why the name is inner transition elements. Okay, now going more into detail of transition elements, that's D block. So first point, position in the periodic table. We have already seen this is our periodic table, they are in the middle. So the transition, or the name, it's in fact suggests that they are in between S and P block elements. The d orbitals of the last but one energy level, okay, that is penultimate energy level in their atom, receives the electron. That is, if you see the period number is 4, but that is your 3D. Okay, so your principal quantum number for all of them, the last electron, okay, they can have 4s orbital, 4p orbital, but the electron will come in 3D, and then for the next series it will be 4D, and for the next series it will be 5D. Okay, so overall their electronic configuration is n-1 d1 to 10 ns1 to 2. Okay, so that is you have your n as your principal quantum number, so that can be 3, sorry, not 3, it can be 4, 5, and let's say 6, and so on. So when you say that n is your 4, that is period number is 4, so your n-1 will be 3D, so that corresponds to your 3D series. When your n is equals to, let's say, 5, So when n is 5, n minus 1 will be 4. So that is your 4d series, and so on. So this here is the general electronic configuration. You can see D is starting from 1 to 10, and the S can take 1 or 2 electrons inside. Okay, now why this is happening? Okay, there is actually a very little energy difference between the n minus 1 d orbital and ns orbital. Okay, so as a consequence of this, we see that there are some discrepancies, or let's say some exceptions in the electronic configuration. Okay, especially in the case of copper and chromium, which we will see now. Again, here also repeating this part, zinc, cadmium and mercury, they do not have the general formula here. Okay, it doesn't fit into this. Okay, they all the three, they have d10 ns2 orbital. So if you see, it doesn't fit into this one. So even if you want to remove the electrons from zinc, cadmium and mercury, the electrons are going away from s orbital. Okay, so if you see, d10 is there always present. Okay, so hence they are not regarded as transition elements. So just to show you, chromium, you can see it has 4s1 3d5 configuration. Same way copper has 4s1 3d10 configuration. Now these are exceptions. You can see that this is half filled, this is fully filled, and this is also half filled 4s orbital, and 3d5 is again half filled orbital. So half filled or fully filled orbitals are more stable. Okay, if you see, this is 1 2 electron 3 electron, the fourth electron should be here and it should be 2, but that's not the case, because half fill or fully filled orbitals are more stable. Same way you can see mo, same is the case with ag. You can see in all that zinc is 210, that is cadmium, and again mercury 210. Okay, and there are other exceptions also in this one. So let's say that we will not go into details now. Okay, some other general properties of this. So with partially filled d orbital, these elements exhibit different characteristic property. Okay, some of the properties are they display variety of oxidation state. Like for example, they have +2 oxidation state, which is very common. Then +4, +5, +6. It goes up to +7. And each one element, a single element, can have multiple oxidation states. Okay, which we will see in the reactions. Then they give formation of colored ions. So if you have Cu2 plus, that's actually blue in color. Same way all the other ions, they have some or the other color, which we will also discuss in the coming session. Next is entering into the complex formation with variety of ligands. So this is the part of formation of complex, okay, or coordination complex, which is kind of, since they have the empty d orbital, they take in the electrons from some of the ligand and they form a complex compound. Okay, that will be the next topic. Now due to all of these properties, they have catalytic property also, because they show multiple oxidation state, empty d orbital, and a lot of things which are giving them benefit to behave as a catalyst. Same way they are paramagnetic in nature. Now paramagnetic nature arises due to a electron which is not being paired. And here in all these we have seen, you can see one electron is unpaired, two electrons unpaired, three electrons unpaired, okay, and four electrons unpaired, and so on. Okay, so it increases and then it decreases. So that's why they have paramagnetic behavior. Now also note that they have, all of them, they have greater horizontal similarity. So that's why we don't study them in group wise. Like we don't study, let's say, group 5, group 7. Okay, we don't study it like that, but we study them in 3d series, 4d series and 5d series, because they have similar properties. Okay, they do have some group similarities also. Okay, that's it for this session. Let's see each other in the next one. Okay, bye bye.